In the UK, tree cover has been steadily declining, but this organisation is trying to change that by planting new woodlands, and they're using crowdfunding to make that happen. This is Carl. He's from Plant One.
I started life off as an arborist, so I've always been interested in trees. So when it came to looking at ways that I could affect change, planting trees and creating woodlands was an obvious choice for me. We started off with a small field, and then we've rolled into working across the whole of the southwest now and creating hundreds of acres of woodland.
They're not just tackling climate change, but they're addressing something just as important, and that's biodiversity loss.
We're facing a climate crisis, as everyone knows. What we often don't talk about is the biodiversity crisis as well. And unfortunately, the UK is really in the mix of that. We've sacrificed all our natural resources and turned ourselves into this biodiverse, depleted landscape. Our natural habitat is that of woodlands and hedgerows, and that's where our animals live. And the statistics are actually quite frightening. 8% canopy cover here in Cornwall in the southwest, 13% nationally, and it used to be 98%.
Part of that lost biodiversity comes from the disappearance of temperate rainforests, which were once a defining feature of Cornwall's landscape.
What we would have had back here for thousands of years, and not that long ago, would have been a rich temperate rainforest, and we're only really starting to understand what that means now. But this was a woodland shaped by the temperate region in which we live, crafted by the Atlantic Ocean and its symbiotic relationship with that other ecosystem. And this would include the west coast of England, Wales, Ireland, and the west coast of Scotland. This continuous, deciduous Atlantic oak wood would have connected up all of those 4 counties and would have covered the whole of Cornwall.
But doing this kind of work isn't just about planting trees, it requires loads of work behind the scenes. This is where crowdfunding came in.
Quite often, a lot of the contributions that we get go straight into the actual doing and the planting and the creating of the woodlands, but there's a whole team, there's a whole network and a whole support system behind that.
Plant One chose Crowdfunder for a bunch of different reasons. However, the built-in support and access to match funding made it a perfect fit.
Crowdfunder ultimately is a fantastic platform for us. It means that we can reach a large audience, and there's a lot of support with Crowdfunder. Not only that, their own in-house match funding hit perfectly and aligned perfectly with the work that we're doing.
And the results have been amazing. They raised over £30,000 through their crowdfunding campaign, and over £19,000 of that came from match funding from organisations such as Aviva Community Fund and the Cornwall Climate and Nature Fund. All of this, plus the support from the crowd, gave Plant One an amazing boost.
And it's not only super boosted the work that we can do, it's given us a working amount of money that we can use to carry on doing the work we're doing, alleviate the stress of what comes along with running a CIC.
But Plant One's work is about making a lasting, tangible impact. Carl's vision is one that extends decades into the future, and it's one that's deeply personal.
One of the fantastic things I love doing now is driving around and pointing at fields that I've planted trees in and saying, we planted those, that was us, fantastic. And as I start to revisit these sites year after year and seeing these mature into beautiful woodlands, I can't wait to be in a situation where I'm taking my kids or my grandkids through the woodlands that we came together to plant.
The work Carl and his team are doing isn't just about planting trees. It's about restoring entire ecosystems and building a much more sustainable future. And with support from the crowd and extra funding partners, they're making that happen, one tree at a time.
We're creating woodlands. Part of that is planting trees, part of that's natural regeneration, but our main goal is habitat restoration. And we need the whole community to get behind that, business, landowner, volunteers. So if you want to be a part of that and you want to step through those woodlands that you planted and you want to take your grandkids through the woodlands that you planted, please come and get involved.
Thanks for watching. If you have a project like Carl's that you'd like to crowdfund for, go to crowdfunder.co.uk.